What's good, YouTube? We are back once again with another vid. This reaction is Kim Ben 10 Stop the Fire Lord by Gray Matter Fanboy. I've seen a lot of his content. Ben 10 was like my show as a kid, so I got a little bit of lore to it. And then also he's a decent following, so this might be another channel we really loop into what we have going on in the mix with our reactions and things of that nature. So checklist, as always, make sure you like the vid, you check the description down below for Discord, and also subscribe. If you like the content, subscribe to make sure you don't miss the movement, and make sure notifications are turned on both on YouTube and on Twitch. Those are the best ways for you to stay in the loop, and those are the best ways to make sure you don't miss the movement. Without further ado, let's get into the vid. Talk to me.
Could classic Ben Tennyson really stop the Fire Lord? Twitter seems to have a very strong opinion, after everyone said that Ben could cover him really easily. So I thought to myself, could he do it without these heavy hitters? We're talking about these guys, like Diamond Head, Heat Blast, Way Big, and Ghost Freak. And to raise the stakes even higher, we'll be putting Ben in a fight against Ozai on the day of Sozin's Comet. Sounds fair, right? Let's go over Ozai's feats from the show, the comics, and some unexpected peaks that Sozin's.
I gotta get into the comics, bro. I know the comics be going crazy. I gotta get into the comics.
Comet has given him and his ancestors. Firelord Ozai is a master of firebending, which is essentially pyrokinesis. He does this through combat techniques that shoot crazy powerful flames that exceeds 1600 degrees Celsius, which is more than enough to burn through flesh and bones. So each fire blast is really lethal upon contact.
I mess with this accent for sure. Also, avid Avatar fan as well, so it's like the perfect collab in terms of like my know-how.
Especially on the day of Sozin's Comet. We have seen him dish out powerful, widespread, and compressed blasts of fire that can melt rocks away like butter, and enough firepower to burn away large areas in an instant. That should put him at large town to city level in destructive power. Maybe small island level if we are being generous. Now Sozin's Comet itself is very important.
Definitely subscribing, bro. The accent is peak, I'm not gonna lie.
The fire
That authenticity as like a content creator is everything.
Firebender scaling, as it is what takes them from small town to potentially small island level in AP. First known as the Great Comet, it is a celestial object that passes Earth every 100 years. This brings so much energy that a firebender's AP goes up 100 times. So it is the single most important day for a firebender. 100 years before the story of the last airbender, it was used to wipe out the entire nation of the air nomads, which
They still whack for slumming out the air nomads like that, bro. Shout out my dog Yatsu. Stood 10 toes, took mad amp firebenders out, bro. He really do this, bro.
even though they were pacifists, they were still an incredibly dangerous set of people, with airbending masters being able to solo many Fire Nation soldiers regardless of the comet. But the power of the comet is so lethal that it changed a fight against a near unbeatable nation into a sure victory. Ozai's AP also converts very well into single target attacks, which are perfect for combat. This can be seen in his lightning bending. This is a whole other skill separate from pyrokinesis, which is electrokinesis. Bending and shooting something as potent as lightning is nothing to sneeze at, because in the Avatar verse we can see where it is a guaranteed one-shot ability that has even slain the main character as well. Literally, he only lived because of the plot, like it's that powerful. A single bolt of lightning becomes even more scary when you get to find out that he's actually pushing 5 billion joules of energy, which scales to small town level in AP. It's also not an easy dodge either, with lightning varying in speeds between Mach 1 to Mach 300,000. The only real weakness to his lightning bending attack is the load up time, but once it's out there, it's deadly. We can see the scare power behind electric based attacks throughout fiction. It has done serious damage to an adult forearms, Way Big, Green Lanterns, and even Superman. The attack potency might be small in destructive power, but I believe its abilities to damage one internally as well makes lightning dangerous. Ozai isn't just a
That's why it's one of the most scariest things in like all of sci-fi, because the things lightning can do with speed, the things lightning can do with energy, the things lightning can do with power is so deadly. And obviously it's like lightning is a realm untapped by us now. Sci-fi's can explore and branch off of it. So having that in your arsenal is definitely something crazy. Like that's a good ace for sure. And he hasn't talked about it being amped by the comment, because even though it is a branch of firebending, I doubt anyone's ever used it during a comment, so we don't really know if it like directly transfers over, if that makes sense.
heavy artillery, but he is vast. He uses this firepower as a way of making quick and sharp movements in combat. This fire, his fire palms and feet are like jet propulsion. It not only gives him the ability of flight, but like what we saw in the fight between Azula and Zuko, it can give you crazy creative combat mobility that can also end up doubling as mid-range attacks. This gives him insane capabilities and flexibility in combat, being able to dodge and reposition mid-fight to launch lethal attacks that are searing limbs into dust. Ozai is not just fast, but he's pretty resilient and your limbs into
We're just charged at the craziest milligram.
dust. Ozai is not just fast, but he's pretty resilient and durable, based on the type of damage we have seen him take in the show. He has an innate resistance to fire and extreme temperatures, along with knowing how to take a beating, as he has been slammed into rocks that are tough enough to mangle metal spacecrafts, which should just put him at athlete or street level in durability. He's really top heavy in damage, being able to one-shot opponents, but if anything that is at the same AP as his hits him, it's going to be deadly. Now, with the remaining aliens that Ben has in the Omnitrix, he has a variety of attack potency scalings to choose from. I want to capture the fact that this is still classic Ben with timeouts and just being locked in on one alien option once he transforms. In a battle like this, 10-year-old Ben, I know for sure is
See, that's a good like limiter to make it fair. He amped Bro with the comment, so like there's like he can even be put in this debate also because a lot of Ozai's feats happen during the comment. So you can't really use those feats. It's like anti-feats and go, oh, well, those only would do this much. Okay, downscale it by 100 and it barely harm a fly. You can't really do that. So he's using that comment version so we can scale properly, but also because Ben is nerfed here. Because again, any form of Ben with Chroma Stone, Clockwork, Alien X, my GOAT feedback in his arsenal is like, you know what I'm saying? That's not really fair fights right there. They already took out the diamond heads and stuff, and that's why he didn't mention them. He's only talking about classic, which I believe Cannon Bolt is still there. Cannon Bolt is still an option. He's not used heavy. Well, he is used in classic. I'm not gonna lie to you right there. I'm pretty sure I remember him being used in classic, but like Armadillo is not in classic. You got a lot of like people that like just off the top of my head aren't in classic. Your Echo Echoes, your Big Chills, which the hacks on Big Chill, you know what I'm saying? Firebending is nothing in the face of Big Chill. But I'm assuming where he's about to go is saying that like a 10-year-old Ben is gonna go, oh, let me just go Heat Wave. Wildvine would cook a fire user with the regen, but we're not ready for those.
is going to go for forearms, as this alien would have some of the scariest attack potency.
My fault. I'm using my brain. Heat Wave. I'm gonna be resistant to your fire. Boom. it's gonna be hard for me to damage you, but it's gonna be hard for you to damage me. I was trying to use my brain. My fault.
Using just classic feats, we can see that this alien is able to throw down, as his power has been seen dealing with monsters ranging from mutating enhanced mammoths to actually cracking the shell of the Great One, a planet destroyer who ate Cannonbolt's planet. The Great One itself has actually resisted all varying attacks of every single alien in the playlist. However, Four Arms was able to leave even the slightest bit of damage on it. That kind of strength can easily place him into multi-continental, since he's able to damage a near indestructible planet eater. His speed is also nothing to sneeze at, as his reaction speeds are genuinely insane, being able to easily react to and counter attacks.
Excellent content. Again, besides the accent, this is a great video. I don't know if y'all can tell, but my Ben 10's theme is so peak, and I can hear it in the back. You gotta listen for it.
Speeds are genuinely insane, being able to easily react to and counter attacks from Kevin 11 and a cybernetically enhanced Vilgax. Both are able to scale off of feats that we have seen from Accelerate, like Vilgax, who has not just been able to keep up with Accelerate speed but also catch him, and Kevin, who scales with that speed since he is 1/10 Kinoceleran after the mutation. This on the high end is putting Four Arms at light speed reaction timing, or even faster than light, since Accelerate is easily light speed.
That's tough scaling. I like that. That wasn't like, see, some scaling is ridiculous. Like, oh, this part. It's like, I don't think the scaling is a problem when people use the scaling. Sometimes they are. Like, it's ridiculous, like, reaches. But also, like, the writers forget this aspect. So they'll be like, this character scales all the way up here. This character, after this point in time, where they've already done this feat, is fighting this weaker character. And they're surviving their attacks, you know? So like sometimes scaling is stupid when it comes to that to me, but this is reasonable.
Speed based on his time-stopping feat in the episode on Naturals. And since Four Arms is pretty much blitzing Kevin while he has Tetraman DNA, he is definitely faster than light. He is also crazy durable, as he has been seen tanking various harsh impacts and alien missiles, taking basically no damage. He can also trade blows with Vilgax. This is the same Vilgax who has AP that is leveling large portions of mountains with ease in his battle against Accelerate. And Four Arms is also able to trade blows with a mutated Kevin who has Tetraman DNA, which easily does scale to multi-continental durability, since Vilgax is wiping cities and mountains off the map with basically minimal effort. Four Arms also has a crazy amount of resistances to the cold and fire, which further makes him a more suitable matchup for anything in the Avatar verse. A major issue that would come up though is his weakness to electrokinesis, as he has been drained by Kevin 11 in his fight in the future, and this is a much stronger, more durable Four Arms, taking a significantly less potent discharge as well. So Ozai still has a win condition in the bag that should honestly one-tap Four Arms once he gets hit. So let's talk about how
the question is, does he get hit and his Four Arms hitting him before he can react?
How the fight would go. After Ben and Ozai would meet up on the battlefield, he would transform into Four.
Not to mention, he's using this condition where we're pre-assigning Ben an alien when it's well known. Well, he has to do that because he's taking aliens out of consideration. But it's well known that if his life's in danger, the Omnitrix, like that, transforms him into the thing best suited for that battle. So it's like, if Four Arms can win here, you either assume he was the best selection, or you go, okay, Ben is whooping him 90% of the time because the Omnitrix would choose something better than Four Arms for this scenario.
Four Arms to begin the battle. Now the fate of the world is on the line, so Ben would not be pulling any punches. I know Ozai would abuse the range advantage using a barrage of powerful fire blasts, which would put Ben on the defensive. This would continue to rain down on Ben as much as Ozai could until he could get an opening. Ben's fire resistance would definitely help him here to be able to push through the pressure and heat of Ozai's flames, because fighting Ozai at a closer range would be what he needs. Once he's actually in close range, the fight itself becomes a lot shorter. Ozai is faced with only 3 options here. He must either try to gain more distance for him to shoot lightning at Ben, try to hit him with lightning on point blank, or genuinely lose, as both combatants are able to completely one-shot each other based on whoever hits the other first.
Yeah.
Ozai's lightning discharge versus the left-right
reaction
good night
time,
is going to be the real decider of this
Yeah.
fight. But I think Ozai is completely cooked here, as Ben would clap.
I agree because I think Aang, I know Aang reacted to his lightning. Yes, there was distance there, but at the speed lightning travels to humans, relatively, I think that distance is low key negligible. If you have something that's light speed and someone's able to dodge that from 500 meters away, that is like almost no different than them dodging at point blank range. Not because distance doesn't matter when calculating speed, but because this thing is so fast that like that distance is low key negligible in the equation of what they can do. So we're talking Aang being able to react to it and redirect it. Ben, someone who has these faster and light reaction speeds, and we're talking about lightning, which has a fraction of the speed of light. He's gonna be able to dodge that close point blank.
Him before he could get the movements necessary for him to pull off the lightning shooting technique.
Yeah.
Even with no movements and instant lightning, Ben's reactions are still way too fast.
Yeah.
As said before, scaling
same
with
pace.
Vilgax, who is easily light speed in combat speed. Dodging lightning would probably be child's play, and it could be an instant skull-crushing
like that.
fatality
Combos.
for Ozai. So could Ben stop the Fire Lord? Most definitely. Maybe too easily. I went with one of his better heavy hitters that weren't literally absorbing fire or just immune to the
yeah.
damage of it. But even aliens like Upgrade, Upchuck, and even Stinkfly would be able to floor Ozai crazy quickly. Not to mention
It's definitely because of their speed and then the AP and the Benton verse.
Accelerate was a much lower AP than Ozai, but godly combat speed. So let me know what you guys think about this fight.
Yeah.
Was it unfair from the start, or was it just right? And if you want to know
That was a nice little one-liner. I think it was just right because this is the conditions you need to make it comparable, and he made a way to talk about that for almost 10 minutes. So I think this is a great video by Grey Matter Fanboy. I will be subscribing, and like everyone who subscribes and don't want to miss the movement, hit that bell for them noties. As always, make sure y'all drink y'all some water. I know I couldn't react without the water on me. Make sure y'all grab y'all a handful of grass, get some sunlight, do at least 3 good deeds by the end of the day. Check the link in the description for the com, and yeah, that'll be all for me. Peace.